back with another video. So today is a very special day for me because today, when I'm filming this, is October 15th, which means that I am officially halfway through Inktober. Whoa, halfway there. Whoa, living on prayer. I really hope nobody hears me right now. So today I'm going to be doing a little Inktober sketchbook tour and showing you all of the drawings that I've done for the month so far. Surprisingly, I've been able to stick to doing one drawing a day, and I'm really proud of myself. As I said in my last Inktober video, I'm just not good at doing daily challenges. Like, I've never stuck to doing a drawing every single day, or even if I challenge myself, like, okay, I'm gonna try drawing every single day this week, it just never happens. So I'm glad that I've been able to stick to it, at least so far. And technically, when I do my drawing tonight, will be when I'm halfway through Inktober, because I haven't done my drawing for the day yet. But you know, it's still the halfway mark, it still counts. So yeah, we're just gonna go through each drawing, and I'm gonna give a little explanation, and I guess. So yeah, so for day one of Inktober, the prompt was ring. And so I drew a little something based on the nursery rhyme, Ring Around the Rosie. So as you can see, I just drew a silhouette of children playing the game Ring Around the Rosie. And I wrote the poem around them. The thing that I really love about Inktober is that you can interpret the prompts any way you want. Some people drew literal rings, like jewelry rings, and other people drew rings of something. Like I saw fairy rings, which aren't actual rings, and other things like that. And so that was pretty inspiring to see that you can do it either way, and both can be equally as good. So for me, one of the first things I thought of was the childhood nursery rhyme, Ring Around the Rosie, which is also a little game you play where you're holding hands, skipping around. Most people know it. I went through a couple ideas in my head at first before I came to this final idea, but I figured that it was the easiest one for me to do, and also was pretty creative, so I'm pretty happy with it. So before I go any further, I want to talk about what I do when I draw, like the process I go through while drawing. Well, first of all, after I have my idea, I draw out what I want to do in pencil first, and then go over in pen. I'm only using two pens. This one is a Faber-Castell. They're both Faber-Castell. I apologize if I'm pronouncing them wrong, but they're both Faber-Castell pens. I don't know how that fares on the spectrum of like high quality pens or low quality pens. I'm not like a pen expert or an ink expert. I don't normally draw in ink, but they're pretty popular pens, so I'm assuming that they're pretty high quality. I don't know. So yeah, I draw in pencil first, and then I go over in pen. Pretty easy, pretty simple. So for the next day, day two, the prompt was mindless. I had no idea what I wanted to do for this. Absolutely no idea. So I decided to go with a creepier drawing, a darker drawing, a bloody hand holding a bloody axe. So you may be wondering how this represents mindless at all, but a lot of times when you hear about massacres, you hear the phrase senseless killing, like it was a killing that had no real it had no real reason behind it. It was just crazy and senseless. And mindless is kind of the same as senseless, doing something without any forethought, doing something like no real reason, just doing it, just going crazy and doing it. So yeah, that's kind of what I came up with, because I couldn't really come up with anything else, and I was kind of stressing because I was like, okay, I have to come up with something. But it's fine. I like how it came out at the end. And I also like the process of smearing blood. I didn't actually use blood, don't worry. All I did was deconstruct a pen because it wasn't like writing, but there was still ink inside. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just take this apart and just smear the ink all over the paper and hope that it comes out somewhat okay, which thankfully it did. I think it turned out pretty well. And then around the hand and the axe, I just wrote some things. I wrote monster, where's my mind, why did I do this, killer, just stuff to kind of bring out the theme a little more, like kind of going inside the mind of the character that this hand belongs to. So the third day, I took inspiration from another childhood, I don't know if it's a nursery rhyme, a childhood fairy tale story. There we go, fairy tale story. The prompt was bait, and so I drew some cake and cookies and popcorn and punch on a table, and on the cake it says, "Welcome Hansel and Gretel." And then in the foreground you see another table with a paper that says ingredients. And if you look closely, these ingredients aren't very good. 3/4 cup toxic waste, 1/2 a teaspoon of poison, 1 cup sleeping potion, 2 cups acid mix, and then a 1/2 pound paralyzer, something death trap, something goop. And then you have 3 containers. One says do not consume, the other one says may cause death, and the third one says keep out of reach of children. So I took inspiration from the story of Hansel and Gretel, 2 kids who were lured into a gingerbread house by a witch to be eaten. So that's what I did for bait, and I really like how it turned out. I mean, obviously I have a long ways to go in terms of artistic ability, but I just think telling a story is like the most important thing for me when it comes to drawing and art in general. I mean, of course, making sure that the end product looks correct or atomically correct in terms of like the way things are, like making sure that when you look at it you can tell that it's supposed to be whatever it is. Like you look at the cake and you can tell, oh, okay, it's a cake. But I think telling a story is equally as important. Third day, the prompt was freeze. And so I did another creepy, dark drawing. I drew a hand that's suffering from hypothermia, and I wrote, as you can see, hope you don't freeze to death. For this one, I had to look up hands that were suffering from frostbite or hypothermia, and I suggest that if you have a weak stomach, you don't Google this, because the images that I saw will haunt me forever. Not really, but sometimes you have to dive into things and do research in order to portray it properly, because I did not know what hypothermia looks like on a hand or what frostbite looks like on a hand. So yeah. Day 5, the prompt was build. I decided to draw a family or 3 silhouettes that were making a house out of a pumpkin. And this kind of goes along with another childhood nursery rhyme, which is Peter, pumpkin eater, had a wife but couldn't keep her, so we put her in a pumpkin shell where he kept her very well, or something like that. So yeah, it's kind of taking inspiration from that as well. And I think another mystery rhyme about a woman who lives in a shoe. Like obviously this isn't a shoe, but just people living inside things that they normally wouldn't live in. It's just an interesting concept that I took inspiration from for this. So the 6th day, the prompt was husky. And there's nothing wrong with, taking a prompt literally, like for ring, drawing an actual ring, for husky, drawing an actual, like a husky dog. But I wanted to challenge myself and kind of think outside the box. So husky isn't just a dog breed, it also can describe somebody's voice, which is one of the things that I thought of. But then I was like, how am I going to portray somebody's voice in a drawing? So I used writing or text, which is kind of a common theme throughout my other drawings as well, like writing things to kind of help bring the theme out a little. But I really like how husky turned out. So day 7, the prompt was enchanted. So I drew a little fairy girl who is reading up on fairy spells. She's using one of the fairy spells to make her pencil levitate. Ooh. This one I also really like because I love fairies. I have her sitting at a desk and her wings spread out behind her. I feel like the wings could have been done a little better and not so scratchy, but I wanted to give them a little bit of texture and not just leave them white, because you might not really be able to tell like what's going on if it's just white. Day 8, the prompt was frail. And again, taking from childhood fairy tales, nursery rhymes, stuff like that, I decided to sketch a little comic based off of Snow White. And that one scene where the wicked stepmother disguises herself as an old lady, but instead I had the old lady just be like a creepy old lady that's trying to trick her with a poisoned apple, and she's like, "Would you like an apple, dear?" And then she dies. And the character's just like, "Nope, don't want to die today." So yeah, I think this is like, I know I've said that a couple of drawings are like my favorite, I really like this one, but I really, really like this one. Day 9, we have swing. So this one, it looks pretty wholesome, at least when you look at it. But if you look closer, you'll be able to see that it's kind of dark. So the inspiration for this one was a movie I was watching in which a woman that was taking care of her neighbor's child pushes her off of a wooden swing. But I just found it easier to draw a tire swing, and like the swing in the movie was old and it was about to fall, and she was pushing it really hard so that she would fall. So that's what I tried to portray in the drawing. So this next one, day 10, is another dark one. The prompt was pattern, and so I have 6 girls drawn here, 6 little characters. And if you look closely, you'll see that the pattern being depicted is that each girl has gone missing.
So there has been an abduction for each month of the year between January and June. So I just want to clarify that I came up with all of these names and all of the dates for the abductions. Like, these are not based off of actual missing persons cases. I just wanted to make a mysterious drawing for this prompt, and it was the first thing that kind of popped into my head. So yeah, I just want to clarify, I'm not trying to make light of anything, and I'm also not depicting any actual missing persons cases. So any similarities to any actual missing persons cases are completely coincidental.
So day 11, the prompt was snow. And so here we have 2 little cute snows chilling on a tree branch, just watching the snow fall and enjoying cute little cuddly time together. I kind of like all of my drawings, honestly. I keep saying I like this one, but this is cute, okay? This is cute. Day 12, dragon. So, I kind of wanted to go simple with this, and quite honestly, this is the one that I don't know if I like that much. So it's a dragon's egg on a little nest, and as you can see, the egg's hatching, and a little dragon's eye is peeping out at you. I liked it at first, like when I was drawing all the cracks and stuff in it, but I feel like the part where it kind of falls apart for me is when I started adding the black dots, because it kind of takes away from the eye. Like, I wanted the eye to really stand out, and like that's the thing you see and you're like, ooh, cool. But then the black dots kind of take away from it, and I don't know if you can like tell what you're looking at. But on the other side, maybe it's kind of like a cool little thing where you don't notice it at first, and then you look closer and you're like, ooh, but I don't really know if it's my favorite. I've had a lot of favorites, as you can tell. I just don't know if I like that one specifically. So day 13, ashes was the prompt, and I really wasn't sure what to draw for ashes, so I eventually decided on a fireplace, and on top of the fireplace is a vase of flowers, and then an urn. And then of course you have a picture above the fireplace of just a silhouette of a man and a woman. And yeah, I personally like how the birds turned out and how the fire turned out in this. Like, I have been trying to challenge myself with this October and just draw things that I'm not used to drawing. I don't think I've ever drawn bricks before. Back to freeze with day 4, drawing that hand was difficult. But I think going forward with Inktober, I'm definitely going to try challenging myself even more, because that's kind of the whole point, to just challenge yourself and draw things that are a little bit out of your comfort zone. So drawing the bricks, the texture, not too, I'm not too happy about the texture, but I guess you can tell it's bricks, so that's what I'm happy about. And the last drawing that I have done is for day 14, overgrown. Whoo! I drew this last night, and it was hard. This one was hard. This is probably by far the hardest one that I have drawn so far. So, as you can see, it is the entrance to somewhere. In my head, it's like an entrance to a garden, but I didn't really draw the garden behind it because I'm like, that's not really the point. So there are vines and weeds and stuff growing all over the fence and the archway that says welcome. And I messed up. If you look closely, you can see I messed up. But let's just ignore the fact that I messed up. Again, I don't know if I like how it turned out. I'm being honest, I don't know if I like how it turned out. But the point is, it was done. I finished it. So yeah, those are all of the drawings that I have done for Inktober so far. And today, as I said, marks the halfway point. Yay! Halfway done with Inktober. Did I think I would get this far? No, I honestly thought that I would stop after like the 4th day and be like, I'm done with this. I can't do this anymore. I honestly didn't expect to get this far, but I'm actually really having fun with it. And I think if you have the time and the motivation to do it, it really is fun. But if you're like really stressed out or you have a lot going on, then it's not going to be as fun. But I personally am having quite a lot of fun with this, so I am going to do another video where I talk about my overall experience. I don't know if I'm going to be going through all of my other drawings. I might. Maybe I'll do it in the same video or do a separate video. I don't know. Anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. And I always, for some reason, I've been drawing at nighttime and then going to bed late, which isn't very good. So I should probably start on today's drawing now, like right now, like stop filming and go do that now. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I will see you next time. Bye-bye!